Hey, hey. Whoa. Looks like we got some comments in here. I don't know what's that all about. Maybe it's when I programmed the stream, it went live. I don't know. I've never done that before. I actually set up the stream a while ago. And then I've been talking to the man himself, Robert Lupton, over here on Facebook, and I got distracted before I actually did my live stream. So I'm wondering if that's where these chats came from. What's up, Aquaholic Fish, Shrimpers? How's everyone doing? Stormy Mist, what's up, Stormy? Thanks for coming. Just turning my computer monitors off over here because there was actually some code from my work on there, and I couldn't have that be live streamed. That's private, confidential stuff. But anyway, what's up, guys? How we doing now? I was just talking to Rob about, he actually messaged me, and he was like, oh, you seem a little bit bitter about imported Neos. What's going on, man? What happened to you? And it's not all that bad. What's going on? Sent some pics of the orange Neos the other day. See, I don't know who YouTube people is versus Facebook people. That's the hard part about it. That's why I like to use Facebook a lot. When I talk to people on YouTube, I tell them, hit me up on Facebook, exactly. And then I don't know who is who from their YouTube name versus their Facebook name. But yep. Yeah, my orange Neos, I'll show you all these tanks. That's actually kind of what this is about. Is I recently just had some auctions last week and this week, and I cleared out a lot of my Neos. And Rob, there's like a post that went around about Neos, and someone said something, and I don't know, it got all out of control about imported Neos, and about how if you're importing Neos, like, you just don't care about the hobby because of all the stuff that can come in with the imported Neos that really doesn't come in with the Caridina, like the Elabidopsidea. You guys know what I mean, that nasty green stuff. The stuff on the rostrum, drawing a blank right now, it starts with an S, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about there too. I could pull out a whole list of everything, but basically the whole point is, like, the Neos come in and they're basically dirty. People call them dirty. They could be Lumpy Dog, what's up? How are you doing? Chris Fishroom, what's up? But yeah, so now that I'm done with shoutouts, I just wanted to say that I made a comment like, don't buy Neos, because someone made a comment again about, like, if you're importing Neos and you're selling them, you don't care about the hobby, you're basically just trying to get rich quick, which is kind of half true, and we'll get into why it's half true and why not half true, but actually more than half true, but we'll get into that. But basically, the importing of Neos, I've had very bad experiences with, and just recently, because when I first got into the hobby, like 4 or 5 years ago, if you like just 1 or 2 shrimp tanks. But about a year ago is when I started Roma Aquatics, the YouTube channel. You guys saw everything from the beginning. That was maybe a little less than a year ago, I'm not sure. But you guys saw that. And when that happened, I obviously didn't really want to throw a ton of money at it, and when I didn't really know what I was doing, so I was going and finding the best deals I could, buying the most cheapest shrimp I could find, and getting the most for the least amount of money. And I found with shrimp, that's like the worst thing you could do almost. I mean, unless you're talking an auction, but then you see where auctions are awesome because you kind of see where the value is, the community puts their bids in. And you kind of, after watching a few auctions of the same person, same kind of shrimp, or even different person, different shrimp, you kind of learn the value of the shrimp looking at the colonies and everything. So you really know the value of the shrimp. Versus I found with imported shrimp, you could have a handful of like painted fire reds that look gorgeous. And when they start breeding, they throw nothing but clears for you and whatever. But that's just my experience. Some importers actually put the time in. Flynn, what's up? How are we doing? Thank you. The takes behind me look amazing. We'll do a small tour when I'm done with this rant. I got to stop giving shout outs till I'm done with the rant because I keep losing my train of thought here. But some importers actually do care, Flip Aquatics being one of them, which is why he did the whole quarantine thing. He does still sell Neos, I think, at a discounted price if you buy them before the quarantine, but don't quote me on that. That could be wrong. But he's advertising like, take this at your own risk. He's being very clean and clear about it, and I think that's the difference between him and a lot of other importers. Is a lot of importers don't even sell their shrimp, and you don't even know they're imports. They don't even. You have to like message them directly and ask them if they're imported or not. Like things like that. But as far as imported Neos in general, other than Flip Aquatics, the only shrimp I've got from Flip Aquatics as far as imported Neos go are my Black Rose. And my Black Rose colony is doing fantastic. It's doing really, really well. I'm really happy with it. There was no diseases or anything. I bought them. I was the first person to ever buy when he implemented his quarantine system. If you want to go back, it's one of my videos and one of his videos. But his video broke the news first. I was actually the first customer to ever buy a Flip Aquatics quarantined imported shrimp. And they turned out great. I had no problems with them whatsoever. I had no diseases, nothing. I had a few die off right from the ride home, and the way, not from the ride home, but when I put them in my tank and was acclimating, I had a couple die off, but that's because I bought my RO system maybe a week later, and when I was slowly transferring all of my tanks to RO, sorry about that guys, the video froze up on me and I realized I lost, but I don't know. But anyway, I was talking about the only deaths I had from those Black Neos imports that I was the first person to ever buy from Flip Aquatics quarantine system that turned out fantastic. They're still doing really well over here. We'll see them in a minute. And you'll see all their offspring as well over here. But where was I going with this? They're doing fantastic. The only losses I had was about a week and a half later, and it coincides with me switching the tank over to when I bought my reverse osmosis system. So I was changing all of my tanks over to roadie water and remineralizing. So one, they had the shock from me buying them, and then a week later I'm trying to change them over on water. So a couple deaths are expected, but ever since those initial deaths I haven't had a single death in that tank since, and you'll see all the offspring from that tank. Plus, I've sold a whole bunch since too. Not as Black Rose. I've tried to keep all of them for myself still, but all the babies. Before I detach the camera, have any questions you want to talk about before I detach the camera and walk around? I've had great results with shrimp from Flip Aquatics and LR Reds. Yep, I was just talking with Flip, and I said I'm going to try to actually almost phase out all of my Neos because I'm getting really into the Caridina and the Pintos, and I'm really loving them. Well, mostly just the Taiwan bees and the crystal shrimp, actually, if we want to be totally honest here. The Pintos are kind of just a sideline, and my Sulawesis, I mean, they're my pride and joy, but I only have one tank of them because they're my babies. JH Aquatics, what up? Love you, man. Check out JH Aquatics. His channel's great. Does some really good stuff. See, every time someone comments, imported Caridina is okay. Yeah, imported Caridina, they don't have the same diseases as Neos do at all. They are tank bred. They're not raised in ponds. They're just cleaner. I've never had a single problem with them. And I've also noticed that there's a Facebook group page called USA Freshwater Shrimp and Plants. I love that group. It's pretty much, I'm a member of like every Facebook group that mentioned shrimp in the name that has more than like 200 members. But lately, that's really the only group I've been checking out. That one and the Canadian one. Like them both. But USA Freshwater Shrimp and Plants is awesome. They have a sister auction group, and that's where I've been basically selling all of my shrimp are on that auction group. I basically gave up on my website. I don't know if any of you have ever been there or visited it, but there's only like 2 shrimp on there that are listed, and they've both been sold out, and I've never updated it ever. So awesome store if you missed. Yeah, check him out. He does really, really good stuff. I met him at the Aquatic Experience. He's a really good guy too. Again, sidetracked. Let's look at some shrimp. Sick of getting sidetracked. Where do you guys want to start? You guys want to start here? Let's go through my Neos. So these are orange Rili. That's flip the camera on you guys, sorry. That's actually the lowest quality one in the tank. The rest of them look fantastic. I almost called that out, but since I only had like 10, I didn't. There's more of a better example of what the rest of them look like. They're really nice looking shrimp. If I could get some from this side maybe. Oh yeah. Beautiful looking orange Rili. So I picked up a couple of them at the local fish store. But I lost like 3 of them off the bat. And we'll see what happens with these guys. We'll see. As you can tell, there's not many in here. I don't even know how many are left. But imported Neos. My pet store probably got them in. Didn't quarantine them one bit. Shipped them off to me. I think they looked gorgeous, so I bought them. And as well, I brought a bunch of this Java moss. So they were free. Well, I traded some Java moss for them. But to me, how come it's not zooming out? Zoom out. Okay, but there's a ton of Java moss in this tank. It's still zoomed in. Okay. I think my YouTube might be freezing. There we go. Okay. So in this tank I have blue Delta guppies. That anyone interested in guppies, I am selling off all of my guppies. I would love to do it in one huge batch order if you're a huge guppy fan. I have like the blue Moscows and purple lace, and this tank's got the red dragons in there. But PM me on Facebook. I'm hoping to get rid of all of my guppies in just one big swoop package because I need room for my shrimpies. This is the red Rili tank that I just had an auction on the USA Freshwater Shrimp and Plants auction group. So there's not very many left in here. If you saw Flip Aquatics video that he made on my shrimp room, that's the red Rili mama right there. Still alive and kicking, throwing tons of berries. She's buried right now again. Throwing tons of berries. She's the one-sider that was in that video. But lots of buried shrimp in here. But other than that, I pretty much sold every single juvie that was in here at the auction. So my red Rili tank is looking kind of slim right now. This is my Royal Blue Tiger tank. I had a collapse when they were in this tank, as you'll see if you watch Flip Aquatics video on my fish room tour. I highly suggest you do. He did a fantastic job on it. But that's my PRL tank. It was the Royal Blue tank when he did the video. It crashed. I think I overfed him because I had too many babies and I was inexperienced at the time. And I was like, babies! So I dumped like food in the water, being like, they need to eat. But now there's like 2 Royal Blue Tigers, and then the rest are kind of this quality. They're not really Royal Blue, like perfect, high grade, like my whole colony was before. But there's a lot of babies in this tank again. There was just a couple. There's one right over here. Where'd he go? But yeah, there's babies all over this tank. But there's also a lot of blondes in here too. But we'll call them out and we'll get this tank up and running again. What are you going to stop up on next? Thank you for the super chat. Aquaholic Fish. You made history. You were my first super chat ever. That's amazing. Thank you so much. That makes my day. Yeah, I've never had a super chat before, so that's great. What am I going to stop up on next? Actually, that's really funny that you asked this, because the very next tank we're moving to is the tank that I'm stocking next. It's empty right now. The algae level's getting good. The water params are perfect. My soil towers are looking great. There's 4 of them in there. I just ordered some shrimp from buypetshrimp.com from Eric Lucas that he gets from Vin, one of the best Caridina breeders there is. He's based out of Taiwan. But I got some, whoop, almost dropped the phone, sorry. I got some Santa grade super crystal reds. I'm super, I can't wait for them. He actually, Eric did a auction slash fundraiser for Hurricane Relief Fund, and Vin donated a pair of shrimp, and Eric donated some Santa crystals, unless Vin donated both of them. I'm not sure how it went. But my buddy Brandon Birdwell, he bid some money, a ridiculous amount of money, but it was for a good cause, and he won them. And when I checked out those Santas, I had to have them, so I just went on Eric's website, buypetshrimp.com, and just picked out 10 of those. So that'll be what's in this tank next. And thank you for that super chat again. That was fantastic. You made my year. Thank you. Next, tigers. These are my leopard or my galaxy tigers. Galaxy tigers and my Tybee tiger, unknown tiger. So this is my unknown tiger mix tank. But my Bloody Marys are out. Let's go to this tank. These Bloody Marys I got from So Shrimp. And as you can see, they're very, very pretty. Very beautiful Bloody Marys. And next is my Sapphire shrimp tank. So there's Sapphire shrimp in here. These are my high grade ones, pretty much. I tried to cull all these out, so there's pretty much only like the high grade blues in there. Shrink. So this is my pumpkin shrimp tank slash orange neos. Nothing, all the juveniles pretty much were auctioned off. I got a little zealous with the auction. So all of my juvies are gone, but as you can see, there's tons of babies. They're all over the walls. So they're all over the walls. They're all over this white substrate, and you can't see them. I need to get some black substrate for these guys, but lots of buried females still in here. There's a baby swimming around. Here's my cherries. Got rid of almost all of these. As you said earlier, I'm phasing out my neos, well, most of them, to try to make room for my more Caridina shrimp. And I have a higher grade cherry shrimp tank over here that I'm starting. So these mostly got all sold off, and the majority of them I'm probably gonna, I don't know, there's some nice ones left. We'll see what, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these guys. I'm torn. One day I want to sell them, the next day I don't. These are the black rose I got from Flip Aquatics that I sold a ton of them. They always hang out back on the filter, so they're hard to get. They're always back there, so I can't get a good shot of them. I need to put some more stuff up here for them. There's some babies in there. Another baby over there. That one's nice and dark. That one's probably actually a baby black rose. You don't know until you get the light on them though. But speaking of the baby black rose and the other tanks, come on. The pH of my tap water gauge is like 7.3. How does overfeeding them make the colony crash? Roma Aquatics JH asked. They don't eat the food fast enough, and the food makes the water go bad. And then the water goes bad, causes an ammonia spike, and the ammonia spike kills your shrimpies, especially the sensitive newborn babies. But speaking of those black rose, so now I have my blue rose and my brown rose tank going. So these are all the babies that came from the black rose tank that have blue. So these are your carbon Rilis. That one's buried right now, but yeah, I'm calling these my blue roses. But this tank is doing fantastic actually. There's lots of babies going on, and then since they come from the same line as the black rose, they still will throw the clears and the browns and the blacks too. So if I have, like, that one's almost black, but when I shined a bright light on it, it had a little blue to it. So it's in this tank, but I'll keep separating and grading them out, because down here I have my brown rose tank, and this is where all the brown ones came out. So I guess you could technically call these chocolates. But this is the brown rose. There's normally a lot more out and about. Where are these guys? It's because I had to turn the light on when I came down here for the live stream. But yeah, so I got a ton of shrimp out here. That's a brown rose. That one I'm actually going to have to put a light on. That one might belong in the blue tank. I think that's a blue guy. But yeah, there's tons of babies in this brown rose tank. And yeah, there's like 3 right together right there. 4 of them. Like, there's just babies everywhere in here, and as you can see, 2 of them are blue, maybe even all of them. But as this tank throws blues, I'm going to throw them up here, and as this tank throws browns, I'm going to throw them down here, and eventually the lines will get pure, and I'll have my blue rose and my black rose, or my chocolates and my blue dreams, or however you want to name your Neos. That's one thing why I really can't wait until we have agreed upon naming conventions for Neos. Not my black rose is your black diamond, is your high grade sapphire, is your really good chocolate. But you know what I mean, guys. I still love my Neos. I still do. Like, these you can't hate on these Bloody Marys. You cannot hate on them. But where were we? Keep on moving, keep on moving. I think we left off at the lower grade, or no, we left off at the black rose tank, and that let me show you the blue rose and the brown rose. But look at that black rose. Did you see the shine on that coat? That's a beautiful shrimp. Thank you, Rob from Flip Aquatics. First quarantine import, probably in the United States. Thank you, Rob. So these are my higher grade reds that I'm gonna start this line. I pulled this out of the random shrimp that I bought. And I've been buying anytime I go to, like, the local fish store and I see a really nice one in there, I'll pick it out. So, well, hopefully this tank will take off, because these are really, really nice. These are the orange eye red ghosts. Gorgeous shrimp. These came from Andrew Wayne. And all of these people, if you don't know who I'm talking about, they're all members of that Facebook group, all members of that auction group. So all these shrimp you could pretty much get on the USA Freshwater Shrimp and Plants Facebook auction page. And generally you're going to get them, you know, pretty I mean, I'm not saying cheap, but you know, cheaper than retail generally, because it's an auction. Why don't you use more leaf litter? I want more leaf litter. My problem is my leaves are already dehydrated, so they go bad fairly quickly. I'm growing mulberry plants. I have a couple black, a couple red, and a white mulberry tree. I also have a banana tree, and there's an oak tree in my backyard. So once spring comes, I'll have a lot more leaf litter in these tanks. But also, once you put a lot of leaf litter in your tanks, they start looking like this, like brown water. Like I actually. Don't worry, I'm back. I'm back. Flipping. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if you saw, but this tank is full of tannins from, this is my wood soaking slash like Java moss, extra plant. Just right now it's just anything I don't want in my other tanks goes in here now. Tank. But it's gonna get cleaned up soon. Here we see these are my blue Moscow males. Here are red tigers, red tiger juvies. I just got one of these on an auction. These came from Jeff Lidberg. But yep, got these, and I'm keeping them in the Caridina waters, so lower pH on these tigers. Oh, scared that one. I came at it too fast. I just put this piece of cholla wood in there. They're munching on it. But these tigers are doing pretty awesome. There's a lot of algae in the tank. They're juvies. You can't really see much color on them yet, but once they get bigger, we'll get some good shots of them. Plus it's hard to see the red on the white. Pool sand. Back to the other side. So nothing in these two tanks. Obviously they're set up, or actually no, there's are the red tigers. This tank's getting set up. I don't know what I'm gonna put in here. Probably my normal grade blue bolts, because once we get over the tank over here, that's where I'm trying to start higher grade blue bolts, higher grade shadow pandas. So I need somewhere to pull the other lower grade shrimp out so they don't spread their genes. How much buffering soil / pounds per gallon of water? I don't know. If you know Chris Hardy, message him. He has some formula to figure it out, like soil per tank size. There's a mathematical formula to fill it out. All I do is I imagine in my head, well actually I didn't even have to imagine for these tanks. What I did once I started sticking to this kind of uniform sized soil tower, I basically took one of the 10 gallons and I dumped a bunch of soil in it, so there was about a 1.5 to 2 inch bottom across the whole thing, which is what's recommended, and then that's how much soil I used to fill these towers. So worked pretty well. And then in here, this is just Java moss right now. My favorite tank, my Sulawesi tank. This is my Cardinal. Let's go to the other side. They like to hang out on this side and look at me while I work. Plus I could just sit down. But yeah, there's cardinals pretty much all over this tank, but they're hard to see because there's so much algae on the glass, which there's no way I'm keeping. There's 4 or 5 blue ghosts in here. I started with 2. They had babies, and then I know there was at least 3 babies. There's one of the blue ghost babies right now chilling under there. Well, they're not babies anymore. The babies are almost old enough to start having babies of their own, which makes me very happy. But it also puts me in a predicament because I don't want to move the blue ghosts. But there's also a ton of the red cardinals in here. If I wanted to start my own blue ghost tank, I think it'd be almost like I'd have to wait till I had enough for them to populate this tank. Look, see, there's a baby. And if you see the screenshot that I started the live stream, there was a tiny, tiny little baby. So that was the last. So there's been 3 generations of cardinals since I put them in this tank. Which brings me, I'm just trying to examine the glass while I'm keeping the phone here for you guys to see if there's any babies on the glass. Because there usually are. But moving on. So down here, this is basically just a ram's horn, Java moss hatchery at the moment. This is going to get turned into an awesome tank. I don't know what yet. But basically these bigger tanks, since I'm going Caridina, soil's expensive. This is the Brightwell soil I use. I get it from Chris Hardy. You guys know what this stuff is? I love this. I get 2-pound boxes on eBay for about $20 price for 2 pounds of it, which looks like that. I haven't taken any out of that one. Maybe one. That's 2 pounds for 20 bucks. I think it's a pretty good deal. Do we want to go over here? No, those are my new fun tanks. We'll go over here first. We'll prolong the suspense. So the first auctions that I had last week were 3 PRL, and so I sold probably about 80 pure red line out of this tank. So there's still a bunch everywhere, but they were really everywhere before. But there's so many babies. This tank's so hard to get with the glare because there's just tanks everywhere around it. But there's so many baby mamas. There's so many babies. When we get a shot of this from the other tank, other side, you can see that subwasser tank and that driftwood is just coated with babies too. The filters are just covered in babies. The ground's covered in babies. And I just switched these guys to this tank. If you go back, or if you've been following my videos, they were in that tank. And they were doing so well. They were in a 10-gallon originally. They were doing so well in the 10-gallon. I moved them to the 55, and bad idea. They all pretty much died off on me. No, not all, obviously, but I think I was left with like 20 out of like 60. And now I'm up to this whole tank. Just sold 80 of them. I populated this tank with them. And this tank's throwing tons of babies too. I bet I could find babies in here in no time. But yeah, there's the first generation baby they threw. Now there's some really, they like hanging out in this horn wart. Where are the babies? They're too small. It's always hard to find them live too. Okay. But yeah, I started all these with that pure red line and another higher grade pure red line tank over here. So as you can see over here, they're all like Missouri or flower horn patterns. And they're having babies in here, and out of the babies I've seen all these really nice patterns, and the colors, there's some in here where the color is not fantastic, but majority of them the color is amazing. There's a bit upside down berry mama showing us their berries inside a cholla wood. Pretty cool. We don't want to skip this tank. I can't forget this tank. So this is white ghost bees. I cleared it out. This tank had so much Java moss, I had to get rid of it. I threw it out because they were buried they're saddled females and they're never buried, and I think they were never really buried because there was just so much moss the males couldn't find the females. So orange eye blue tiger, those are they get thrown by royal blue tigers. So royal blue tigers can throw black tigers with orange eyes, and orange eye blue tigers. I already showed my royal blue tank. It was over here, the first tank I started with when you were sending me the super chat that's got babies. But where are the adults now? See, isn't that crazy? When I just showed this to you, what, 36 minutes ago, all the adults were out and about. And now I can't even see one. Craziness. Craziness. But yeah, those were the white ghosts. They're awesome. They're a type of crystal shrimp, I believe. Which I really love in my crystal shrimp and my Taiwan bees. Speaking of Taiwan bees, we're going over here. So this is my bruiser tank. There's a high grade, not really high grade, but it came from, it's got the genes. It came from Robert Harkley, Extreme Blue Bolt. There's a bunch of shadow panda babies in here. We'll come back to this tank because all I see right now is the one. Pintos. So we got some German spot pintos, red and black, right up in the front. We got a red zebra. Another spot pinto up there. Another red zebra. Where are my black zebras? Oh, there's one that's developing a backline that I'm super happy with. But of course my black zebra is not going to be around right now. But yeah, some of these pintos I'm super happy. I bought these on the auction group page as well. My yellow King Kong colony's blowing up. Colony is blowing up. And they're looking bright and nice. And there's babies all over this tank. I went to pull out some, as you can see, there's a lot of this algae. I went to pull out some algae, and all of a sudden all these tiny little babies started flying out. So I left a lot of it in there and just let it go. Let it go. Down over here, this is actually one of my favorite tanks too. We have some blue bee Caridina. These are rare and hard to find. I've been looking for these for like years, and I randomly found them on eBay, and I bought some. And then when I put a post on Facebook about them, everyone was like, yeah, I got them too. And I was like, you know what, I want some more. And then when I went back to try to get some more, no go, they're gone. But these are a Paracaridina species called a blue bee. They used to be really big in the hobby a couple years ago, and then kind of hard to see. You haven't seen them for a little while. Zoom out, YouTube. Thank you. So here's the higher grade PRL tank I already showed you. This is my Black King Kong, Extreme King Kong tank. There's I think one or two stripers. There's one. So there's Shadow King Kongs. There's two Shadow King Kong, two stripers. The rest are all one stripers with the exception of one Extreme King Kong in here. But these are nice shrimp too. I got these at the auction as well from the same guy I got the pintos from. If you want to find out who that is, you gotta find the page. But these are so pretty, so pretty. And that brings us full circle, with the exception of my purple lace guppies and my blue ram's horn snails that are out of control down here. My purple grass grow out tank. As I mentioned earlier, these guys throw red grass and purple grass. Both of which are beautiful guppies. I think they go for about 20 bucks a pair, but I'm looking to unload all of my guppies in one single shot. So if you want every guppy in this tank, all of my purple lace, all of my red lace, if you want this blue Moscow female who's about to throw fry and all the fry that she throws, if you want these blue Moscow males that are gorgeous, where are you guys? Focus. No? Don't want to focus on the blue Moscows? No? Weird. There we go. No, for a second. It wants to hit that Java moss, that's why. That's weird. Or maybe they're like Bigfoot. They're just blurry. That's why no one can get a non-blurry picture of Bigfoot, because Bigfoot is blurry. It's a Mitch Hedberg joke. If you don't know Mitch Hedberg, check him out. He's hilarious. He does it way better than me too. But anyways, and all these red dragon guppies, and they're about, literally every female's about to toss too, so they're all fat. These females are, look at the top fin. Look at the top fins on these females, how long that dorsal fin is and feathery. I mean, the males, you don't gotta, I mean, they're obviously just gorgeous. But the females, and the reason you only see one male in here is because I have a male tank upstairs that I haven't shown. I'm gonna make a video on my male tank because every time I do a live stream, my family's sleeping and that tank is upstairs, so I never get to show it. But I gotta do that one day when my family's not sleeping. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Been 42 minutes. My arm's getting tired holding this phone up. Honestly, like, I need to keep switching hands, but the camera's over there, so I can't. But love you guys. Thanks for watching. Check out Flip Aquatics. He just did a fish room tour. His video quality and editing is better than mine, so check it out. You actually see my room, but it's like a room in my past, because my room is constantly evolving apparently, because I watched it and I was like, wow, how has my room changed that much since he was here? But it has. But good night from the UK. Hi and bye. Wow. Later, JH. See ya. Aquaholic Fish, thank you for my first super chat ever. Best thing ever. Thank you. You made my year. I actually forgot that I could even get super chats, because I was able to get super chats when I reached 1,000 views. I think that's the rule. I forgot that I even could. So awesome. Thank you. Later.